Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Former Cowboys first-round pick, as close to being cut as you can be. The Dallas Cowboys made a surprising choice on Thursday when they made former first-round pick and behemoth defensive tackle, Mazi Smith, inactive for the season opener. Along with rookie fifth-round running back, Jaden Blue, Smith was a healthy scratch, despite having been listed amongst the starters up until just a week ago. Although there is no definitive answer as to the precise reason the former Michigan man did not suit up against reigning Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, announcer Chris Collinsworth, speaking with Mike Tirico on the live Thursday Night Football broadcast on NBC, believes that it essentially signals the beginning of the end of Smith's time with the organization. "If you're inactive with what they've got at defensive tackle," Collinsworth said about Smith during the TNF broadcast, "that's as close to being cut as you can be. Right, they've got Solomon Thomas, and a rookie in Jay Toya. But it's quite the statement about your former number one pick." Right now, the Grand Rapids native is listed as a third stringer on the depth chart. Ever since the team recouped Green Bay Packers nose tackle, Kenny Clark, as part of the Micah Parsons trade exactly a week ago, on Thursday, August 28, Smith's future has at least been in part in doubt. Clark represented a true upgrade, a position that was a clear weakness in 2024, and despite him having one of his weaker pass-rushing seasons of his career last year, he remains a stout defender against the run. Smith had a poor rookie season in 2023 after being selected with the 26th overall pick, and failed to take that second-year leap in 2024. In fact, Smith was graded out so poorly by the analysts from Pro Football Focus that they had him as the 208th out of 220 qualifying defensive tackles last season, with only 12 players receiving lower grades than his 34.8. Smith is still on the team, for now. If they do plan on releasing him in the not-so-distant future, then the decision to not release him during final cuts is certainly a bit of a strange one. Collinsworth's statement implies that the writing is already on the wall, and it might be. But perhaps Smith will remain on the roster long enough to be bought in as cover, or slowly work his way up the pecking order at defensive tackle. Otherwise, it could be that Dallas is holding out for a team to offer really any sort of compensation in exchange for their expensive investment. For now, the position of nose tackle next to 3 technique, Osa Odigizua, belongs to Clark, and unless the team sees some truly impressive signs from rookie 7th-rounder, Toya, the job does not appear to be going elsewhere anytime soon. Smith is not as good as cut right now, at least not with the information known to fans and the media. But this certainly about as on edge as it can get for ex-first-rounder. Grading Brian Schottenheimer's first game as the Cowboys head coach. The first thing I want to say is no moral victories in football, but many should be feeling better coming out of this game against the defending champions on the road than they did before the game started. The loss of Micah Parsons was clear as day, and it was a huge issue in the first half of the game, but like many are doing on this Friday morning, I want to grade the first career head coaching game for Brian Schottenheimer. Schotty earned C+. Outside of winning the football game, this is probably the best anyone could have hoped for Brian Schottenheimer. Look, the team looked ready to go, the offense scored 2 touchdowns to start the game and actually looked like they knew what they were doing to end the first half by getting into field goal range to only be down 1 heading into the break. The offense had balance, but I would have liked to see more of George Pickens, but I fully expect to see him have much more of an impact going forward. While Schottenheimer's offense performed well, his defense struggled throughout the evening. The Eagles scored on their first 4 possessions and Dallas defense was unable to stop Jalen Hurts. After the weather delay, both teams could not find any points, and regardless of what you think, it clearly halted both offenses, because honestly, we could have had a game with no punts. Plenty has been said already about this game, but again, they lost. But the way the offensive line played, I truly think they can compete in all big games. For me, it just feels like the team was more ready to play under Schotty than I ever saw them with Mike McCarthy. Long way to go, but this season may be a touch better than most thought, and that includes myself. Dallas Cowboys add former $141 million star as Parsons' possible replacement. The Dallas Cowboys are once again at the center of speculation after the blockbuster trade that sent All-Pro pass rusher Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. With the defense suddenly missing its most dominant weapon, whispers around the league suggest that Dallas could be eyeing a short-term but high-impact solution, veteran edge rusher Khalil Mack. Mack, now 34 and entering his fourth season with the Los Angeles Chargers, remains one of the most feared defenders in football. Just last year, he posted an eye-popping 17 sacks and earned another All-Pro nod, outperforming even Parsons in several advanced metrics. His ability to wreck pockets hasn't faded, and that makes him one of the most intriguing names on the market. What makes this rumor even more compelling is the nature of Mack's current deal. He re-signed with the Chargers on a one-year, $18 million contract, a far cry from the six-year, $141 million pact he once commanded in Chicago. The short-term structure has fueled speculation that Los Angeles could be willing to move on, especially if the right trade package emerges. For Dallas, Mack represents exactly the kind of year-to-year veteran that the Jones family has leaned on in the past. Analysts close to the team, including Reed Hansen of Cowboys Wire, have suggested that Mack could provide the highest value of any available pass rusher, slotting into the role currently held by rotational edge Dante Fowler Jr. but with far greater impact. The Cowboys also have the financial flexibility to pull the trigger. According to league projections, Dallas is on track to carry more than $38 million in cap space into 2026, leaving room for a bold but calculated swing at a player of Mack's caliber. The move would not only stabilize the defense in the wake of Parsons' departure but also signal that the Cowboys are still aiming to contend immediately, rather than entering a rebuild. Of course, the market for proven pass rushers is heating up quickly. Some veterans remain available, meaning Dallas won't be the only team exploring ways to add firepower. But few names carry the star power and proven production of Khalil Mack, and pairing him with emerging talents like Donovan Ezeuoku and Marshawn Kneeland could keep the Cowboys' front seven among the league's most disruptive. For now, it's only a rumor, but in the wake of Parsons' shocking exit, Cowboys Nation is watching closely. Khalil Mack in navy and silver still isn't reality yet, but the noise around it is growing louder by the day.